Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, Twitter comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi, and we are talking about the future. The future, meaning Photoshop and what it means for artists and just people who are touching up photos, family photos, any of that stuff. Photoshop is going to take your stuff and accumulate it and work with it into AI with or without your permission in a weird, sly way. This has came up. This is breaking news. Let's get into it.
Well, to be fair, this is something that Adobe implemented back in February, but now they're pushing it through the terms of service whereby you have to agree to it before you can use any Adobe product. So now is when people are aware of it. So this is how they sneak on you, They change the terms of service and say it's up to you to make sure you follow it and when the updates, but yeah, sneaky stuff happening. So Adobe terms of service have changed, and it looks like they can access, view, or listen to your content through both automated and manual methods, but only in limited ways and only as permitted by law. Kind of dodgy, you see, because it sounds like it's going to be, we decide what is legal and not legal. So they say that they will analyze your content using techniques such as machine learning to improve your service and blah, 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 all these nice things. We are learning how you use the software so we can make it better. Yeah, right. It looks like when it mentioned your content, that means basically anything you generate in any of the Adobe suite of programs, whether it's Photoshop or it's going to be any of those video making, whatever things you're using. Now, here's this interesting thing, you see. They say that any audio files, video files, electronic documents, or images that you upload, blah, 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 reserve the right to remove or restrict access to them if your content is found in violation of the terms. So what exactly are they looking out for? We may use available technologies, blah, 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 to screen for certain types of illegal content, for example, child sexual abuse material or other abusive content or behavior. For example, patterns of activity that indicate spam or phishing, or keywords that indicate adult content has been posted outside the adult wall.
Right.
Wow, so it's like some weird Puritan gatekeeping thing happening.
Right. And a similar thing had happened during the Obama administration where they wanted to basically tap into online video game communities looking for terrorist plans and stuff like that. Sometimes our government kind of steps in, or companies use the government as a way to basically come in on. Now, I'm not going to say that they couldn't find and bust people for illegal stuff, but I don't know if this is Photoshop's place. I actually believe that a lot of this has to do with just the future of Photoshop and AI. You have to kind of remember Kodak film was a thing. Kodak Polaroid cameras, stuff like that. People used to buy film and get film developed. This was a thing. Digital cameras, stuff like that, digital printers put that whole sector out of business. Photoshop, how does Photoshop deal with the future of AI making thumbnails or AI images and stuff like that? How does Photoshop deal with that? Well, they can try to fight it. They can try to hope people will still go in and lasso tool things and try to Photoshop things and not use AI. Or they could just try to go ahead and get and grab as much content as they can through their terms of service that you're unknowingly, in a lot of cases, you're agreeing to. You're actually giving them permission to grab all of the stuff you feed through it, whether it's family photos, your artwork, anything. You're actually kind of agreeing that it's theirs now, and they can use it for however they want. So that's a big issue here. I do believe Photoshop as a business would look ahead and say, hey, we want to get into the AI game. We have to move forward. And we're not just working on this system that really doesn't get a lot better. Like a Photoshop, Adobe makes tons of programs I would never use for anything. There's only a handful of them, but they're constantly trying to get you to sign up for other things, And if you're an old school artist like me, you remember you didn't have to pay by the month. You had a hard copy. Well, now you have to pay by the month. So look, Photoshop is always looking to push themselves forward into a different model. Will Adobe be an AI thing in the future? Do they hope to be one of the biggest and have one of the biggest revenue or well of images and art to pull from because everybody's agreeing to it unknowingly? It's kind of weird. Imagine you're doing a flyer for your kid's birthday party 10 years later, you think you see your kid in a stock image online for like, I don't know, some kid's toy or something like that. You're not going crazy. You probably agreed to give it to Adobe and whatever company is using and paying Adobe a licensing fee for their AI program. Kind of weird, right? When you think about it. Again, there's been tons of platforms, tons of programs, social media sites, stuff like that, that update their terms of service constantly, and they don't really notify you. They'll just say, you need to click this and agree to this again. And a lot of people just want to get to their Twitter, get to their Facebook, get to whatever, and they never actually saw what to do. Now, you're telling me that this is coming up that it is possible to opt out of this, right?
Well, there's so-called a way to opt out of your content being used for their generative AI or whatever rubbish they're claiming that will make the world a better place. Basically, you have to go into your account and you have to turn off this thing called content analysis. So it will prevent them from so-called looking at your content in a way. But unfortunately, Adobe still has this weird little loophole that says, well, if you end up using a tool in one of our programs that requires the image to be first uploaded onto our server to process it, then we put it back onto your computer. Yeah, you basically give us consent to use the image in on our server. So you can opt out. But if you use certain Adobe tools, suddenly they say, yep, there's a copy up in our servers now, it's up for us to use. Hooray! I think this is very sneaky in a way. And let's face it, guys. You think they're really using this data to improve their program. No, they're not. They're using it to compete with all the other AI image generators and stuff out there to make a better, more human-looking image, I guess.
And I'm not sure, like, once they're on your computer, how far back it's able to go. Like, if you just have a bunch of JPEGs saved to your desktop, is it grabbing stuff? Like, is it retroactive? Is it going backwards? A lot of this is, I hate to say, it probably won't be long before cell phones, any type of camera program or app that's on your cell phone is going to start doing the same. A lot of people will, just like people try to grab your data and sell it, like telemarketers. We're going into the era, I believe, in the future where everybody's going to be trying to grab your photos and sell your photos. For people that maybe don't understand the whole AI thing, I want to take a minute on that. AI kind of has to be fed photos. And the more photos it's given, the better results it has, the more resources it has. So, why would your photos be important to it? Why would your artwork be important to it? Things like that. Well, the computer is looking for light, shadow sources, understanding that. They're looking for natural human reaction, poses, stuff like that. And all of those things have to come from already existing photos or artwork, a combination of all. The more you feed it, the better it is. Now, eventually, if AI is only fed its own stuff, it will start to erode because it can't distinguish a mistake it made from the image in the past. And right now, there's still problems in AI. It's getting better. Funky hands, sometimes multiple arms, structural problems, but faces are pretty good. So the issue with the AI is it constantly will need human stuff to a degree. Once it has enough, and it only knows to pull from human photographs and stuff like that, it'll give it a good foundation. And that's where Photoshop is looking to get this to work. They're looking to pull and have multiple references to pull from. And best yet, in all of this, you agreed to it through the terms of service, and you're paying Photoshop or Adobe, in whatever program, you're paying them a monthly fee. That is right. You cannot buy this program for one fee anymore. You have to pay by the month. For people that don't use these programs and you're not an artist, imagine Netflix, you pay every month and somehow it's looking at you watching it, and then they're using your facial reactions for data, or they're putting your face in a TV show. That's how absurd this is. You're paying to feed this thing at this point. Now, everybody's going to quickly go and out there and look for alternatives. And actually, every artist should, because you're basically giving, if you're an artist, every time you upload your artwork into Photoshop under this, you're giving it your artwork style to recycle, to reuse for anybody for any prompts. Your whole lifetime trying to learn to draw in a certain type of eye or style or proportion, you're now agreeing and giving it to Photoshop and paying them on top of that. So the art community is where I really am kind of interested to see how this pans out. I don't know. There's so many other programs to use. I don't know if they're just going to shift. I don't know if other programs will follow suit behind Photoshop in this. There's a lot could happen here.
Well, only one thing to do. Make sure you try out your other Photoshop alternatives. I would personally recommend Clip Studio Paint just because it's a one-time fee and there's a lot of user-generated things like brushes and so on and so forth you can use for free.
Right. And if you guys will, please go sign up for Inglorious Rex 3. We will be dropping this campaign coming up probably in August. A lot of people love an Inglorious Rex 1 and Inglorious Rex 2 from our previous campaign. We're looking to do better this campaign as far as story and art, giving you guys the best comics money can buy. Get over here, check out Inglorious Rex. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for Inglorious Rex 2. Heavy is the crown, shipping now.
Stepped on the scene, I got greatness all in my jeans. Ain't no way that I can slow down. I'm laced up, look how I shake the ground. Can't touch the crown, but you can kiss the ring. Close your eyes and see how I live a dream. I'm too smooth, MJ with the lean. Don't be fooled, I came through with the team. This is over their heads, how high can it go? I'm too over the edge, got my eyes on the goal. And we right back at it, keep them right on their toes. Look at the way that I move, this is all that I know. Cause I got the drive, I put it in gear. Line them up, I don't see no competitor team. If it ain't first place, we really can't settle for it. Listen up, get ready for it.